This is the record that changed a lot of people's lives, especially mine. This is Jaco Pastorius's debut record, and the first tune on it is a Charlie Parker tune that I just played the intro of, not like Jaco, called Donna Lee. Let me read you something from the back of the record. This is by Herbie Hancock. Jaco is a phenomenon. He's able to make sounds on the bass that are a total surprise to the sensibilities. Not only single notes, but chords, harmonics, and all sorts of nuances with the color of the instrument that, when combined and translated through Jaco, make for some of the best music I've heard in a long time. Of course, it's not technique that makes the music. It's the sensitivity of the musician and his ability to be able to fuse his life with the rhythm of the times. That's Jaco. Let me give you a little background, actually, on how I discovered Jaco. There was a record that came out a year before this called Bright Size Life. It was Pat Metheny's debut record, which featured Pat Metheny on guitar, Jaco Pastorius on the bass, and Bob Moses on the drums. When I was 15 years old, I started mowing the lawn of a guy a couple blocks away from me who owned a music store. His name was Tom Rizzo. And Tom turned me on to Pat Metheny. He actually turned me on to this record. And then I started taking lessons from him. But when I started listening to this record, not only was I blown away by the guitar playing, but the bass playing was otherworldly. This was really where the world first heard about Jaco Pastorius. People in South Florida knew of him, but people around the world were introduced to Jaco by his playing on Bright Size Life. This is really a monumental record. It's one of the greatest debut records and one of the greatest jazz guitar trio records. And a big part of that, not just Pat's playing, but it's Jaco's playing. It's unreal. After that came out, a year later, Jaco's first record came out, and Donna Lee was the opening track on it. Let me talk a little bit about Donna Lee as a piece first. Donna Lee was written by Charlie Parker, the great alto saxophonist, the inventor of bebop. This is the original version, recorded in 1947, of the Charlie Parker All-Stars, with Charlie Parker on alto, Miles Davis on the trumpet, Tommy Potter on the bass, Max Roach on the drums, and Bud Powell on the piano. The melody is attributed to Charlie Parker. It's actually copyrighted under his name, but Miles Davis claims that it was a mistake, that he was actually the writer of the tune, and it was just miscredited to Charlie Parker. But we'll never really know about that. What I do know is that it's based on the old standard Back Home in Indiana, which is written in the key of A flat. It's a really complex set of chord changes, a very long form, and the melody is written over that. And the reason that they did that is so that they wouldn't have to pay royalties on using a standard of the time, Back Home in Indiana. So they wrote a new melody on it because they like to improvise over the chord changes. Now this became a jazz standard that everyone played, including Jaco. And when I heard Jaco's version of it, it blew my mind. Let's check it out. Solo. That's an incredible interpretation of the melody. Forget the fact that it's played on a fretless bass, which makes it next to impossible. And it's something that nobody had really heard at the time. But it also has that drive that Jaco has, the energy, the articulation, and the feel. But my favorite part of it is the opening lick of the solo, and starts on A flat. What I love about that, it outlines the A flat major chord. That is a great way to outline the tonic chord there as it's launching into the next chorus. And And then on that F7 flat 9 chord, he's playing the sun, ba ba da ba do da, and it goes to the flat 9, ends on that, which is very much in the style of Charlie Parker. Let's listen on. Okay, now that is incredibly cool because he's playing over a B flat 7 chord, but he plays. And he's implying an E7, which is the tritone sub, but he starts out by surrounding the flat 7 of B flat 7, and then he goes, which is a C add 9 chord, which gives you da 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 da, which gives you a dominant 7 flat 5 sound, right? He's got that sharp 11 or flat 5 in there. Then he goes right down to the low E and implies E altered, and plays the harmonic there, which gives you that E altered sound. So it's right into that tritone sub. It's very hip. Listen on. Then, love those. That is so Jaco right there. He starts, he does all those upbeat accents right here. Oh, and just cascades off that. That is the beauty of a fretless bass. He walks down chromatically to the 7th of C minor 7, and then down to C minor 7th arpeggio. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to play that lick because I don't have the chops to do it, but the general idea is that there's these triadic structures and some 7th chords in there that give it this particular sound where it sounds really hip, kind of out. A flat major he starts on. You can hear the A flat major tread. G flat or E flat minor 7. It sounds like it ends on this E major 7, or goes to the 7th there. So that's the basic idea. If I had the chops, I could play that. When I first heard that, pretty much like every bass player, we thought, what is that? And he's playing it on fretless, and it's so articulated. Listen. Oh, so right there is another Jaco thing, playing chords, a triple stop or a 3-note chord. So it's outlining a B flat 9 chord. So you got the 3rd flat 7 and the 9. So in the pocket with the congas. Oh, right there. That is literally a Charlie Parker quote. When I say it's a quote of Charlie Parker's, I mean it's literally a quote from one of his solos, but I can't think of what solo it is. But as soon as I put the video out, I'll remember. What he's doing there, he's playing over C minor 7, da-da, F7, da-da, to B flat minor 7. You got this, right? Da-da, da-da, perfectly outlining the changes with no accompaniment. And then okay, right there. This is a great line. So right there on that B flat 7 chord, once again he's outlining a dominant 7 flat 5 or sharp 11. He walks in to the 3rd, 5th, flat 7, 9, sharp 11, up to the 13. That's a beautiful sound on there. Okay, anytime you hear Jaco do that, that's what's called a false fingering. That's when you play the same note. That's what he's playing there, playing the same note. It's a 4th interval, but on a different string, so it's a different tone. I do that on guitar all the time. There's false fingerings. You hear Michael Brecker when he would play things, or Coltrane. Do it a lot of jazz players do it on sax when they're soloing. They'll play false fingerings, but that's what it is. He does it again coming up here in the next phrase. Right there. But that. what he's doing there. But he goes right into another line from it, and it's so hip sounding. Okay, another thing, Jackal Harmonics. If you listen to Portrait of Tracy on the same record, which is a solo bass piece, influenced a whole generation of bass players. Really, really important piece. Check out this Jaco record, his first solo record, and listen to Portrait of Tracy. There's so many harmonics that are on there, and he pioneered that sound. But these harmonics, to me, it sounds like he's playing is the first chord, and then is the second one. They're hard to play on this bass, but here it is again. Okay, so this is the part where he starts changing keys because he plays the melody again in a different key, and he starts doing that turnaround, the 3 6 2 5 da 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 at the ending in the key of E instead of A flat. So he's modulated down a major third, and the way he does that is going taking the 3 6 2 5 3 6 2 5 1. Instead of doing that, he goes 3 6 2 5, and then he goes 2 5 2 5 1. Then he's in the key of E, so he's going C minor 7, F7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat minor 7, D flat 7, F sharp minor 7, B 7, then E, and then he plays a melody in E. Let's listen. So he's in E. I love that. Still in E. Ooh, so right there we got a harmonic there. So we got it's an A flat altered, and then changing keys. So he's modulating back on that, modulating up a minor third or major third, and then he plays the ending. That's all for now. Please subscribe here to my Everything Music YouTube channel. If you're a first-time viewer, don't forget to ring the bell. If you're interested in the Beato book, which has plenty of examples of this in it, go to my website at www.rickbeato.com. You can find it there. Follow me on Instagram at rickbeato1. I've got a lot of guitar improvisations there. Check out the new Beato ear training method. Go to beatoeartraining.com and watch the introduction video. And if you want to support the channel even more, think about becoming a member of the Beato Club. Thanks so much for watching.